Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a moment in history that truly redefines courage and conviction. We're traveling back to Tennessee in the heart of the American Civil War to meet a woman whose extraordinary act challenged the very notion of freedom itself. Prepare to be inspired by the incredible story of the woman who burned her Freedom Papers in 1862. Imagine a world where your very existence, your rights, and your future were dictated by a piece of paper. This was the reality for many in 19th century America. For those who were formerly enslaved, a document called Freedom Papers was their lifeline. It was proof of their liberty, a shield against re-enslavement, and a testament to their hard-won emancipation. Losing them meant risking everything: their family, their home, their very life could be snatched away. These papers weren't just legal documents. They were badges of honor, symbols of survival, and the foundation of a new, if precarious, existence. So why would anyone, especially a woman living in the perilous landscape of the Civil War, willingly destroy such a vital document? This is where our story gets truly gripping. The details of this woman's life are, frustratingly, not as well documented as we might wish. History, unfortunately, often overlooks the stories of those who weren't in positions of power. However, what we do know comes from accounts of the time, painting a picture of a woman facing an impossible choice in an unbelievably turbulent era. The year is 1862. The Civil War is raging, tearing the country apart. Tennessee, a border state, is a battleground, crisscrossed by both Union and Confederate forces. The loyalties are divided, the future uncertain, and the fear palpable. For African Americans, whether enslaved or free, every day was a struggle for survival and a fight for dignity. The Emancipation Proclamation was still a year away from taking full effect across all Confederate states, and even then its reach was contested. In this chaos, the Union Army began to move through Tennessee, and with their advance came a glimmer of hope, but also new complexities. As Union troops entered areas of Tennessee, they brought with them a shifting landscape of power. For many enslaved people, this was their chance at freedom. They flocked to Union lines, seeking protection and a new beginning. But for those who were already free, the situation was precarious. The Union Army, while fighting to preserve the Union, wasn't always a straightforward liberator, especially in the early years of the war. Their policies regarding formerly enslaved people and free blacks were evolving, often inconsistently applied, and sometimes even contradictory. Our extraordinary woman, whose name is sadly lost to the mists of time, found herself in a situation where her freedom papers became not a shield, but a potential target. Historical accounts suggest that in some instances, Union soldiers, perhaps mistakenly or through a lack of clear directive, were seizing or questioning the validity of freedom papers from black individuals they encountered. There was a fear that these documents might be used by Confederate sympathizers or that their very existence complicated the Union's evolving stance on emancipation. It's a stark reminder that even those fighting for a cause can have blind spots or conflicting directives. So imagine her standing there, a Union officer questioning her status, perhaps even implying that her papers were a fraud or that her freedom was somehow in doubt. The very document that had been her safeguard, her proof of identity, was now being used as a tool of suspicion against her. The weight of her past, the precariousness of her present, and the uncertainty of her future must have crashed down on her. But instead of crumbling, she made a choice that stunned everyone present. With a defiant glare, she took out her precious freedom papers, not to meekly present them, but to make a powerful statement. She held them up, not for inspection, but for destruction. And then, before the astonished eyes of the Union soldiers and onlookers, she set them ablaze. The flames consumed the paper, the ink, the official seals, everything that legally defined her as free. It was an act of profound symbolic violence against the very system that sought to categorize and control her. Why would she do this? What was the message behind such a shocking act? This wasn't an act of surrender. It was an act of supreme defiance. By burning her papers, she was essentially declaring, "My freedom is not dependent on your documents, your laws, or your recognition. My freedom is inherent. It is mine by right, not by decree." She was asserting a spiritual and personal liberty that transcended any piece of paper, any government, or any army. She was saying, "You can burn the paper, but you cannot burn my soul. You cannot erase my humanity. My freedom exists within me, not on a fragile sheet of parchment." It was a radical declaration of self-ownership and an unshakable belief in her own intrinsic worth, regardless of what the prevailing legal or social systems dictated. It was an assertion that her freedom was God-given, not man-given. This act resonated deeply because it challenged the very concept of documented freedom. It pushed back against the idea that liberty could be granted or revoked by external forces. It was a powerful refusal to allow her identity, her dignity, and her inherent right to be free to be reduced to a bureaucratic formality. In a world where black individuals were constantly fighting to prove their humanity, she bypassed the legal arguments and made a profound philosophical one. Her act became a quiet legend passed down through the oral histories of the time, and later captured in historical accounts. It serves as a potent reminder that freedom isn't just about legal status. It's about a state of being, a spirit that cannot be extinguished, no matter the oppression. It underscores the immense resilience and fierce self-determination of African Americans during a period of unimaginable hardship and struggle. This woman, though nameless to us today, left an indelible mark. She represents the countless unsung heroes who fought for their dignity and liberty in ways both grand and subtle. Her burning of the papers was a revolutionary moment, a testament to the power of individual agency even in the face of overwhelming systemic injustice. It reminds us that freedom is not merely the absence of chains, but the presence of self-determination, an internal fire that cannot be quenched. Her story encourages us to look beyond the official narratives and to seek out the moments of profound human courage that often go unrecorded. It prompts us to consider what true freedom means to us today and what we are willing to stand up for, even when facing incredible pressure. It's about recognizing that our inherent worth, our human rights, are not privileges granted by others, but fundamental truths that reside within us. This incredible act from 1862 teaches us that true liberation often begins from within, with an unshakable belief in one's own fundamental rights. It's a legacy of defiance, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to self-worth. Let this woman's story inspire us to nurture that same spirit of inherent freedom within ourselves and to stand tall in the face of adversity. What an extraordinary moment in history. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you found this story as inspiring as I did, please give this video a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into fascinating historical moments. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the incredible stories that shape our world.